Welcome to Breaking Beauty Podcast. Katey, it's so nice to finally sit down with you in person. I know we've met before many moons ago when you were working in, all your celeb gigs during TIFF and everything. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's a delight.
So I wanted to ask you, what do you think is sort of the hallmark of an effortless makeup look?
This is the question that everyone always asks.
Yes.
I mean, an effortless makeup look across the board generally includes looking awake, looking healthy, looking refreshed, having your features defined. So it's however we get to that.
Yes.
And of course, with each face, it's going to be different. But typically for me, it's a wide awake eye. So it's a curled lash with some mascara, perhaps something smudged into the lash line just to really emphasize that. It's a brow because, I mean, as much as we try to say otherwise, the brows define the face and really give good structure, as well as do cheekbones. So something on the cheek, whether it's a pop of highlight, whether it's a blush, whether it's a contour, all done with a very subtle hand in my book.
Yes.
And whatever it is that makes your skin feel like the best version of your skin,
right,
to me is like part of the clean girl hallmark aesthetic. It's not, of course, like a piled on foundation look. It's not a matte, powdered to the nth degree look. It's just your glowing, fresh self.
Yeah, I love that. What's your secrets all of these years in with skin prep? What's your ride or dies go-tos to get that base nailed?
So it does, of course, all start with skincare, but it doesn't mean that it's skincare the morning of.
Right.
It's nighttime skincare that prepares you for your makeup the next day. So all the talk about, I spend 20 minutes doing gua sha and, 30 minutes with a layer of this moisturizer and this right before makeup prep for a red carpet.
Yeah.
If you haven't already been prepping your skin, to be able to be its most plump, juicy self, and also to receive all of that added moisture and hydration that it may not typically be able to, it's just going to sit on top of the skin. So it's really about preparing the canvas. I mean, we hear this ad nauseum, preparing the canvas, but it really is. So I like the night before a good layer of mist. I'm a huge mister. What I learned early on, maybe from Tata Harper during one of her fun events, I'm sure you've been to, was that if you don't have moisture on the face in the form of anything wet, it has a water component to it, the moisture that you put on, meaning an oil or a cream, is not going to penetrate as deeply. So misting the face and then using that time to massage in whatever you're going to put on, your favorite moisturizer, cream, lotion, whatever you call it, whatever formulation it is, top that with an oil to really seal it in. That the night before, hyaluronic acid, whatever you're doing the night before, prep.
Okay.
And that's just our every night, right? So that then in the morning, our skin is more plump, is more, we've had more blood flow because whatever we've put on a stimulating product of some sort, peptides rich. And then the morning, we can use a much lighter amount of skincare.
Okay.
And that prepares the skin in a way that anything you put on top is not going to have difficulty with the whole slip sliding that happens often. It's going to keep product from settling into fine lines a little bit more. It's going to keep the appearance of fine lines at bay because the fine lines often are as a result of dryness.
Right.
So then it depends on your skin texture and also whatever it is, the look that you want to accomplish. So if you want, let's say you want a satin kind of finish. You're not looking to be super, dewy. You're not looking to be matte 90s. It's going to be about using a very thin layers. We've all heard this before. Of foundation strategically placed. Right. This is, I've listened to all of your makeup artist podcasts and just a million other podcasts with makeup artists, and we all say the same thing. And I want people to know that we speak the truth. It is all about fine layers rather than doing like what I did as a child, which was to take, like Almay or corn silk thick old foundation, spackle that on, and then just like push it in and then use a powder puff to put it on. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
No wonder I looked like a cake face and had acne. It's the thin layers that really give you the mimicking of natural skin, and allows you to have that light bounce with while still showing some of your skin through. So
what's your favorite? I'm just going to pause for a moment. What's your go-to like 3-step nighttime skincare routine for yourself right now?
In my mind, I'm opening my, we redid our house, and of course I put the largest of all vanities in. So let me open that. So right now I have, and I brought it. Should I show you products?
Yeah,
okay.
Bring it up.
So I
love it.
I brought.
Show and tell everyone.
Yay. Who doesn't like that? So I'm a huge fan of mists.
Yes.
This is one that I'm super into. Olivia Wilde, beautiful brand. The founder is in Ojai, California. I haven't been there. You have to go to her farm. And this is, I mean, I'm not much of a woo-woo kind of person, but I have experienced the powerful benefits of flower essences, which almost makes me sound like too far woo-woo, but
we need all the woo-woo we can get in this day and age, honestly.
Okay, I appreciate hearing you say that. Yes, so this is a brand that is Ojai Wilde's partnered with a brand called Aten Ray, who makes flower essences. They've partnered up to make this beautiful face mist. So I start with a face mist. Start with a face mist, and then loving this one. I have like maybe 3 or 4 creams on rotation. I'm using one from a Manuka honey. That's the name of the company. They source from New Zealand honey. It's like the most magical story of their brand. I've been using that. I've been using Alpine. Do you know that one?
Yes,
Alpine?
I do.
Love their vitamin C Bounce texture cream.
Okay.
It's so rich and yummy. Josh Rosebrook.
Yes. Amazing products.
Peptide rich formulas. Sahagin. I mean, I'm just really obsessed with creams, especially at this. I'm almost 50. I need all the moisture I can get.
Yeah.
So I'll massage that in, do another round of misting.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then press an oil on top. True Botanicals has long since been one of my go-tos. I rarely break out anymore, and I think it's because I've been really consistent with their clear oil.
Okay.
And that has helped to keep breakouts at bay. So those are my main my short evening routine.
Short list. Okay, and then in the morning, what do you put on your face?
I'll also say I don't wash in the morning.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that I used to do that, and then it would dry me out.
Yeah.
One of my favorite facialists in town is this woman named Jeanette at Being in LA, and she such a good name drop hint there. She cured my acne.
Really?
When I went to her, I basically had a beard of acne. Would not go away. I think it was from using too many things and not exfoliating enough.
Right.
So she got me onto her. It's her cacao. What is it called? Shoot. Of course, I'm gonna have a brain lapse. Jeanette Being in LA. Anyway, she has this.
It's her own brand?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And the brand is called Jeanette's All Natural Skincare.
Oh, okay.
So she has these 2 little soaps, which make it travel really easy. So instead of washing my whole face, I will use her soap. If I'm having any potential breakout areas, I'll use her green tea soap or her Just Add. Yep, can't remember it. Just add something. I'll use one of her 2 soaps on whatever potentially problem areas, and the rest I just splash a little water on.
Okay.
To keep moisture levels high.
Okay, I'm on her website right now. Good. It's an exfoliator, you said?
It's a soap.
It's a soap.
Yeah, she has these 2. They're very cute. So many of my celebrity clients use them because it's so easy to travel with, and if you feel a breakout coming on, 100%. I can't tell you how many of my clients who have contracts with major, companies, skincare companies, they use her stuff because it really works and keeps breakouts a bit.
Okay, the tea, we've heard it here.
For real.
I'm on her website right now.
Okay,
There's
good.
2 soaps.
Yes.
One is called Just Add Sugar.
Just Add Sugar. That was the word I was looking for.
Just Add Sugar, the cacao herb infused soap bar.
Yeah.
It's just it looks like white square soap.
And a little heart. It used to be a heart.
Oh, there's a heart. Yes, I see the heart here.
Heart
That's
shape.
So cute.
And you just rub it on wherever your breakout or potential breakout is. And then leave it on for a minute and then rinse it off.
Okay.
And then the green tea.
Yes, it's green tea superfood facial bar.
That one.
It looks like a leaf.
It looks like a leaf. She makes them herself. I'm really into all awesome. The smaller brands that I know what the ingredients are because they tell me 100%.
Yes.
So I'll use that if I'm having any problem areas or if I happen to get a little oily. But otherwise, just splash a little water on. And then, again, I'll use a mist. again, I have so many different mists, from Osea to Josh Rosebrook to True Botanicals, like.
And these are hydrating mists.
Yes.
Mists, not makeup setting mists, right?
Totally different.
Yeah, exactly.
Makeup setting mists is interesting because makeup setting mists now in the clean realm are very hydrating. So I'm like, the difference between a mist like I've just described and a post makeup mist are very minimal. In the non-clean beauty world.
Right.
The makeup setting mists are like basically hairspray or shellac for your face.
Oh yeah, I smell it, and sometimes I just don't care.
Same.
I'll just wear it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, bring it on. It's hairspray for my face, and I'm leaning in.
100%. And although I am the clean beauty makeup artist for red carpet jobs, I often will finish with that because you need that to lock product in.
Yeah.
So that's not what I'm using in my morning routine. But after my mist, I'll generally use. There's this company that makes, oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite products. It's an exfoliating serum. The brand is called Versine. And the founder created it during her pregnancy.
Okay.
It is, so during pregnancy is one of the top times that people look for me. What can I use that's good for myself and my baby? And I'm like, all these products are great for you all the time, but I'm glad you found me now.
Yeah. It's when the discovery or the journey starts, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that or like a health scare, but those are the two main.
Yeah.
So Versine, it is an exfoliating serum that is so gentle yet the most effective. So I've, a redhead skin, my skin doesn't love retinol, but I've forced it to over the years.
Yeah.
But I always have the telltale retinol, like constant flaking, irritation. My skin is a little sensitive. So with this product, I don't have any of that. I just have constantly glowy face. So, yes.
Okay, goals.
So I have some of that on, followed by whatever moisturizer. Sometimes I need something really heavy. I go with like Josh Rosebrook's Vital Balm, and then a tiny bit of oil.
Okay.
I let that bake. Like I let all that sit because I'm not terribly oily. Well, because I'm dry as a bone, I should say, but not oily at all. I don't do what I often do on clients. So if you're oily and you've just put all of this moisturizer on your face and oil, then I would take a blotting paper, take off whatever hasn't soaked in, and then put on your SPF.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, so my SPF go-to now probably for the rest of my life, I hope to God they don't discontinue it, is the RMS. Do you know this one?
Oh, show it.
Yeah,
I've never tried her SPF.
Oh my gosh.
I love all of her makeup though.
Ditto.
By the way, we've had RMS on our show. We interviewed her in a hotel room, and we got under the covers with her.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how I haven't seen that.
It was back in the day.
I can't wait
was
to
like
see
maybe the 2017, but she's just the best.
She is. She's often had me on for just all sorts of co-hosting things, and she's like, you need to be there to curtail me so that I don't go off the rails. But yeah, this I don't know why I'm showing it as if this.
No, you can show it. That's the camera.
This stuff. Whenever anybody stops me and says, "What's on your face? Why you look like you're not wearing foundation, but your skin is glowy?" It's this.
Okay, the name of it is let's share.
Supernatural Radiance Serum.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
SPF.
SPF 30. Sometimes I will mix this, like this is my everyday. If I'm out in the sun, if like I'm on a travel job or something, I mix this with Audacity.
Oh yeah.
Love their foundation sunscreens.
Okay.
They call them tinted moisturizers, but for someone who doesn't wear foundation on a heavy foundation on the regular, that to me could go on as much as a medium to, well, I shouldn't say full, but a medium foundation. So I'll mix the two and get a flawless finish. I
really trust Redhead SPF
Thank you.
Recommendations.
As you should.
Thank you. Okay, this is such great intel, and thank you for the show and tell. By the way, everyone, we're going to publish this on YouTube so you can watch everything that Katey is talking about. So I also wanted to ask you about a skin product that you think just kind of fights with makeup, or you think beyond the obvious, which is oil that could make things slip and slide. What do you see people a mistake maybe people are making, or what do you think?
One of the things that happens to me at work a lot, I'll say to my client, what do you have on their skin? And they're like, nothing. It's not nothing when you put a serum that has hyaluronic acid on.
Okay.
So hyaluronic acid competes with anything you put on top of it other than, if you put a mist on, you're great. If you put a tiny bit of an oil-based gel moisturizer on, you're great. But oils on top of that.
Interesting.
So that means if I go straight in with an oil or with a foundation, I'm going to get those little pills, which once you've got a face that's breaking, basically that beautiful seamless look with little pills, you're done for.
So that's like a lesson you probably learned the hard way, because
So
you've
many
got to
times.
ask, and they're like nothing, and then
Nothing. Yeah. So that has been a nightmare countless times. Often I'll take like a Cure or Audacité. Either of those, both of those brands have great, just very simple, like micellar water.
Right.
And I'll cleanse a face with a cotton, like a reusable cotton pad, and start again from there.
Yeah. You can't have the pilling on the red carpet. Not on Katey's watch. No.
No, it's brutal. Yeah, I've been lied to many times. Nothing's on my face.
Let's talk a bit about makeup tools, because I feel like there's makeup artists out there who really achieve the most effortless looks, and they're just using their fingertips a lot of the time. So do you subscribe to this, or what tools do you use to get that effortless kind of finish?
As a makeup wearer, so I'm going to speak to that, I think fingers are awesome.
Okay.
There are some things that you have to use brushes for, undoubtedly, but for fingers, I mean, let's say even for eyeshadows, I brought an eyeshadow palette to show.
I want to see.
This is a brand new launch.
Oh.
I know. I don't even think, I'm going to guess you haven't seen it unless you look
Definitely
at my Instagram
not.
stories every day, because
Ooh, it kind of looks spaceshipy.
I know, that's what I said to when they sent it to me. It's sexy. It's from a brand called Ahora Mexico, and the co-founder is such a delight. So when I first saw this colorful, right? So first of all, he worked for years for one of the biggest makeup houses, and he left to start the most sustainable packaging. So it's all metal, chic AF.
Yes.
And to infuse color. So he's Lebanese, living in Mexico. His co-founder is Mexican. And they said, why doesn't clean beauty have fun? So here it is. The most
Gorgeous.
fun. Yeah.
Can you show it to this camera so everyone can
Absolutely.
see it? Ooh. Yeah, it's like a magenta, an Eve Klein blue. I
love that you said Eve
It's
Klein
like a russet kind of orange, a silver, a gold. Like, you definitely do not look at that and think clean beauty.
I know, right? But you should. And
Yes.
I've been waiting for this forever. There's a line called Johnny Concert who does a bunch of bold colors, but this takes it to another level for me. And so maybe you'd think I would say for this you need brushes, but you don't.
Okay.
So they're buttery, soft, amazing formulations, kind of like Aether Beauty. Which has had a comeback.
Okay, good.
Which is great. Yeah, but the color payoff, I don't know if you can see that from here.
It looks like a MAC eyeshadow payoff.
Exactly. So for me, it's all about swiping this on the lower lid, or not, on the part of the lid that's closest to the lash line, and then using the clean finger to just blend it in.
Okay.
And so I've been wearing all of these on repeat, depending upon what I'm wearing. I've been putting them on my clients. The shades are amazing.
And the wear is good?
The wear is amazing.
Okay.
Honestly, it's like an all day. I mean, nothing in clean beauty will ever compete with the plasticizers that are in mainstream to keep it on. But you'll see at the end of this.
Yes.
I'll keep touching it and you'll see it'll still be on.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know.
So fingertips for the eyes, and typically because sometimes I find when I'm trying to do an effortless look, I'm like, oh my God, I can still see brush strokes.
Yes.
It's
on
so
skin.
Yeah. Because I find a sheerer formula often I find it harder to blend sometimes.
Absolutely.
So what do you do?
So, okay, brushes I only really use brushes if I'm doing pointillism kind of work. You have a blemish or a spot of some sort to cover up. I'm going to use a super fine, a tiny little eyeliner pencil brush. You've heard that a million times before. If I want to smash something into the lash line and only the lash line, I'm using a brush.
Okay.
If I am doing everything else, I can accomplish with fingers. Everything.
Right.
That being said, I do so I can apply stuff with fingers, but often the blending of it so that it doesn't have marks is extremely seamless, can happen with fluffy brushes.
Okay.
I've got a lot of various sizes of fluffy brushes so that I can accomplish that blending. Monica Blunder, who's another makeup artist, she made a beautiful line of product.
Okay.
And her foundation brush is a go-to blender for me.
Really?
And it's a nice small size, so it can be your contour blending brush, because there's nothing that I want to see less than, look, I've drawn in my cheekbone, or I've drawn it. Yeah, no, let's just seamless that.
Okay.
So yeah, brushes for those kinds of things. The only time I would take a brush to the lip would be and we all have it, a little bit of peach fuzz or hair around, like on the perimeter of our lip, and we're doing an overdrawn lip.
Yeah.
You may want to take a brush and just really make sure you've mashed that lip liner in so that it's as seamless as possible, because we're all overdrawing our lips slightly these days. So
the lip overline is definitely having a moment.
Oh yeah.
Now when I think of effortless makeup, I want to be the girl who only wears like concealer, mascara, lipstick, like Nikki Taylor in a 90s CoverGirl ad. So let's talk about concealer a little bit, because I think it is often what a lot of people will say, I don't wear foundation. So they just want to nail it with the concealer. So what's the trick to making it look effortless? Is it about the texture, the finish, stick versus liquid? There's just so many choices, and I feel like it's very overwhelming.
Even to me, it's overwhelming. I get, you do the packages from all the beauty brands, and I'm like, okay, all of you are making basically the same thing. It's going to take me bright lights, lots of different faces in front of me to really decode what the differences in the formulas are.
Yes.
So if you're looking to do an under eye cover, for me, hands down, like I was against this in the beginning of my career, because I was like, one more product you don't need.
Right.
But it is the difference between the perfect under eye versus I could have done better, and that is a color corrector.
Oh, interesting.
And
so that's worth it.
It really is, even for the real people, like not on the red carpet, but especially if it's a big day, you're gonna have a photo taken, whatever. It is so imperative to. This isn't true if you don't have dark circles, but like 75% of us have dark circles, right? If your issue is more so bags, I've got bags and dark circles, you're going to want to strategically place that color corrector. So there's a brand called Fit Glow Beauty in Clean Beauty. I love them. There's a brand called Exa, which is Credo's house brand. They both have color correctors that I really think are fabulous. So you're looking for, depending upon your skin tone, they've got a pale pink, they've got an eye bright, which is a little more yellow. They've got a straight up peach, which I usually go for the peach or the pink or the deeper orange. Okay. Deep dark skin can take an orange lipstick and get that real brightening under the eyes. And you want to put the most minuscule amount, and I'm talking minuscule,
like pinhead kind of thing,
like a few dots of pinhead, right? And then you're going to take your finger and dot, 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 dot.
Got it. Okay.
And then
even for effortless, because I almost think color corrector, that's like a different level, but no, that's an effortless staple in your opinion.
It is, because the amount of concealer that you need on top of that, and those formulas dry down more quickly, are not drying but dry down, so that you're not going to get the cakey lines. If you have lines under your eyes, everything ultimately by midday is going to need a touch. Right. So you're going to take your mist, you're going to go in the bathroom, you're going to mist yourself, and you're going to retouch. Yes. Maybe with a dampened and then wrung out in a towel beauty blender, or maybe just your finger. Right. And the amount that you've put on is so minuscule that it's going to look effortless when you put your concealer on top. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So then your favorite concealer right now for under the eye? I'm digging Ritual Defy, which is, do you know this brand? I have, but I've only seen like maybe eyeshadows or lip products. Initially they were like known for their eye soots, so you probably saw those. Yes. One of the founders is a makeup artist, and it's two sisters, and their formulas are incredible, and I'm wearing on repeat. I'm like, how does it look right now after I've been up since 4? They're under eye concealer. It's a great texture. Okay. I also really like Jillian Dempsey, another makeup artist. Great. Love her. I think her formula, to me, it emulates Clé de Peau. Stop it right now. Yeah. Katie's just bringing all the tea. What? Okay. Yeah. I think she might be sending us some of those products. Good. So I'll get to put it on and test it out. Yeah, please let me know what you think. Okay. It has been for me the closest to Clé de Peau and clean. The only thing about it is like 6 months, you have used it up by, because the drying factor is real. So you want a fresh one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Good tips. And in terms of that texture, is it like a stick like Clé de Peau? Okay. So how do you put a stick concealer under the eye versus a liquid?
Yeah. Okay. A liquid, I would never go from the tube to my face.
Right.
I mean, probably because cleanliness is grounded to my brain, but
so you're not putting the doe foot like right on the face.
I'm not. I mean, you see it in every TikTok, but
exactly.
No, I mean, also I don't get as much control. I want to use my finger, so I know exactly how much. I'm going to touch it to the tip of the doe foot, and then I'm going to dot. And wherever your deepest, most receded area under eye is where you want to put it.
Okay.
If you have bags, typically underneath the bag is going to be receded, as well as on top of the bag.
Right.
We're all different shapes, and so you need to analyze where your fat pad has slid to, where that depth is, and then really put the most, and by the most I mean just a tiny bit, on that part that's the darkest.
Right.
You know, typically or historically, we've seen when you have a pimple and you put a concealer on it, basically you're spotlighting it. Even if it's the same color exactly as your skin tone, you've been perfectly matched, you're spotlighting it. But under eye, because the nuance of color there and the way that light falls into that kind of cavern, it feels like somehow it's a little bit more forgiving. And so you want to make sure you get it in that area. You want to blend it out, but you want to use something that's a little bit more has more orange or peach to combat that. So I think I just went off question.
No. I was just asking about how you put the liquid on.
Versus
the stick.
Thank you. Okay, so that would be the liquid. Tap, 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 tap. Tiniest bit. If it doesn't give you the effect that you want, another tiny layer. The stick, I do the same thing. I don't go directly on, because I want to warm it up on my finger first. So I'll over top of the stick, and then I'll press it in, and I'm using like the part of my finger that is has the tiniest footprint on my face, and then I'll use a clean finger to blend.
Okay. And then what do you set with? Because I feel like that's where it goes off the rails.
Yeah, I do not set under the eyes with powder unless, so again, like everybody's orbital area is different shaped. Someone I could put, the same mascara on. I've had this conversation with so many other makeup artists where like, I love this mascara. And somebody else is like, I hate it. It transfers. The other person's like, it's never transferred. It really depends on couple things. It depends on the under eye shape and how it hits the lash when you blink, and maybe that mascara is transferring because your concealer is too emollient and you needed to set it because your under eye is raised enough just perfectly to meet those lashes. And then for other people, those lashes will never touch skin. So if you find that is the case and you must set under the eyes, I'll use either Ilia has a beautiful, just super sheer powder.
Okay.
They have translucent, but they also have I think a 01 and a 2-1, 2-3, and maybe 3-4. And those can impart a tiny bit of color as well as just the most minute amount of silica powder to set.
Okay.
There's also a foundation. I hope I brought it. Yes.
Perfect.
Do you know this brand, Swede?
Oh, yes. I've not tried it, but Carlene talks about it.
I'm obsessed. I'm glad that you've got to try it. I'm glad Carlene has.
Yes.
This is their miracle powder. I've tried all the colors on all skin tones. It is exquisite.
Okay.
Whenever I use this, my clients are like, I look like I have a filter on.
Oh.
It really does. It's crazy. So
how many shades are there?
Let me count how many are in my kit. I think 7.
Okay. Good number.
Yeah. It is a good number, and they're a range. Each one, like this is light, but I can also wear extra light. And if I want a little bit of color, I can wear that. Yeah, it's a nice range in that sense. And the formula it's not a highlighter in typical highlighter like unicorn block whatever.
Right.
It is it's like light bounce of a baby.
Oh. What?
Yeah.
Clip that.
It's crazy. It is a similar, it's like, that's what I'm looking for all the time. And it's similar. I'll just go back to this. Like these two products
give the RMS and the Swede together.
They really do give that light bounce as a baby. And then if you feel as though you've swirled on, it's like reminiscent of, what's the name of the powder that everyone wore in the 80s and 90s?
Laura Mercier?
No. The, come on, Brie.
The MAC one?
No, it's like their Bare Minerals.
Oh, Bare Minerals.
Or Mineral Fusion. No, Bare Minerals.
Bare Minerals is the foundation with the
powder,
with
the swirly. Yeah. It's reminiscent of that, yet it is in no way mattifying. But if you've put a little too much on and you feel like you look dry, you take out your mist.
Do your skincare mist on top.
Yeah, and then your dampened beauty blender.
Okay.
Yeah.
One tip that I got, I think maybe I went to a master class with Makeup by Mario, and he was talking about a mistake a lot of people do with their concealer is they bring it right up to the lash line. And I don't know if I've ever heard really anybody ever articulate that before. I've seen a lot of makeup artists do it when I really thought about it.
Yeah.
But that is where then it's going to cake.
It's
under
always
the eyes, right?
It's going to cake. This skin under your eyes, so from the lash line down to about here, is known as migratory skin as well. So whatever you've put on that skin begins to migrate up. So you're going to also end up with it in your eyes,
right?
In small amounts. So everyone who complains about having like stuff in the corners of their eyes that they have to clean out, this is a surefire way to give yourself that and to interfere with your eyeliner. It'll begin to break down your mascara because there's emollients in that concealer that allows it to look like moving, breathing skin, and that's just going to move right into your expertly put eye makeup and eat it away.
Okay.
So yeah, you, like I was saying, you want to put in the deepest cavernous part under your eye. And if you experiment with only putting it right there and kind of feathering it with like that clean finger elsewhere under your eye, you will find that even that is enough.
Okay. Yeah. Love that. Now, I wanted to ask about the freshest way to wear foundation, in your opinion, because if you have redness or you're just not the type of person who's just concealer, what's your typical application method?
Okay, so for self-use, 2 foundations.
Okay.
If I'm going for an actual full foundation look, like the reasons why I can't even think, because right now, like, I'm on camera and I'm not wearing full but I know there are times that I want that, and for sure others have asked for that. So 2 foundations.
Okay.
For clients, I use 3. But for 2 foundations, I use a lighter shade in the center, and then I use something a little bit deeper to warm up the skin more on the perimeter. It's imperative for all skin tones. I've learned this particularly from deeper skin tones.
Right.
We are not a monochromatic face, and it ends up making, even if it has been your look for a million years, it's like you're used to seeing yourself like that, but it's not a natural look to be one color. Sure, we can build in tone on tone with blush and bronzer, but still, to achieve that really natural look, the way that light hits you, if you put all one color on, it's never going to look like you're like a real natural face, natural skin.
What's the go-to foundation in your kit?
It's also by Ritual Defeat. I love them. It's called a 3-drop foundation, and I had been a devotee of Ilia, Kosas. I loved Kiara Weiss's pressed foundation for years, even in their liquid foundation, so many. And then this one came out, and I was like, oh, this
converted.
It's just perfect for most skin type. I mean, I have yet to meet a skin type that it's not been good on.
Okay.
And I watched Katie Jane Hughes post about it, in which she said 3 drops. Is that possible? 1, 2, 3. And then she used a brush, I believe. And she was just like, 3 little liquid drops.
Wow.
And you can build medium. I mean, it's not going to be like an Estee Lauder extra double wear, long wear. Yeah, like so cake face. But it is giving full ability for full coverage.
Wow. And how many shades is that?
So many that I don't know.
Okay.
It's an extensive range.
Okay.
For makeup artists, they made little teeny refillable bottles for us.
Perfect.
Hallelujah. So I have a whole little kit dedicated. I mean, it could be as many as 20.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Okay.
And often,
and to the deepest skin tones, like melanin rich, everybody's covered.
Very much
okay.
so.
Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and they really go olive and pink, and they do a great job.
I love that. It's just at a different level when a makeup artist does it, right?
Agreed.
And do you use that on the red carpet, like performance-wise? It's amazing.
Performance-wise, personally, yes, it is amazing. I'll often then go in with, have you heard of the brand Mob?
Yes.
So Mob makes also beautiful everything. Again, so Mob was co-founded by Vic Casale, who was the founder of MAC.
Yeah.
So like he knows formulation and he also knows a full beat formulation.
Yeah, so true.
If I need a little bit more than the Ritual Defeat is able to give me, let's say somebody has, you know, pregnancy mask melasma or terrible scarring from old acne or something, on top of that Ritual Defeat, or sometimes underneath it, you know, it totally depends on the skin type, texture wise. But I will go in with that Mob. I forget the name of their foundation.
Yeah, I don't know it. I don't know the foundation either, but
oh, you've got to try it. It's a pan, and so it's cream. I like to apply it with a brush, like a cat tongue brush, and then use a dampened Beauty Blender sponge to really mimic the look of skin. That's probably the heaviest of all and like most dense coverage, but you can shear the heck out of it and use it as concealer too.
Say what now about the brush? What did you call it?
A cat tongue. I love that you said say what. Yeah, a cat tongue. Have you never heard that term?
No. Well, I know what it means in like other contexts, but I've never heard it applied to a makeup brush.
Yeah, the shape of it, I guess, is why we call it that. Also called the flat foundation brush.
Yeah, okay. Just clarifying, everyone, so we know. Because I feel like everyone is listening with bated breath. By the way, we're going to link to every single thing that Katey is talking about on our website, so you can, you don't need to take notes right now. And I wanted to get your opinion on, because you said not a huge fan of setting powder. What do you think about primers then?
I don't know if it's because I've been focused on the world of clean beauty for most of my career, and they, other than one from Alima Pure, which is a powder one, they don't really exist. So I haven't introduced myself to like the beauty or benefits. I mean, I hear about it from other people that some people love and some people hate, and so I've just kind of stayed away. There is a primer from Danessa Myricks. I have a couple of clients who are young and have more oily skin, and so I have that in my kit, and I'll use her mattifying primer in the center so that I don't get the breakthrough oil telltale pores trying their best to send oil to the surface, and it works wonderfully. So that one from Danessa Myricks, it's kind of like a watery texture. And it just becomes one with the skin, and then you can put anything on top of it. But I keep that to the center.
So that's something you would use on someone who's maybe a bit younger.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
The only other one that exists that I love is, it's called a primer. I would just call it like it's a similar thing to like the finish of this, but it's from Kiar Weiss. It's one of their long-standing products. And it goes on like a dream, and it makes skin look incredible. It's like a very finely micronized shimmer, and it just reflects light really nicely, and they call it a primer. You can use it under, you know, has a bit of a grippiness to it, I suppose, but often I'll just use that instead of anything else on faces, and then go in with concealer.
I once read that for the ultimate glow that Bobbi Brown puts moisturizer on after foundation. Have you ever tried that trick?
Oh, heck yeah.
I've never thought of this. I don't know why. But.
So, well, because it seems counterintuitive. And in some way it is. So if you're a full-on foundation girl, it's not going to work. You're going to smear it. So I sometimes will put if it's a lightweight moisturizer in my palm of my hand or on my palette, take my Beauty Blender that's been dampened and then wrung out in a towel, and then pick up some of that moisturizer, and then wherever I feel like I've gotten a little dry, a little, you know, that foundation isn't sitting right, I will add luminosity back to my skin, life back to my skin using that moisturizer.
Like something like a Willita Skin Food, or is there anyone you like in particular?
I love that product, but not in this way, unless you are the driest bone around. So because that would really break down the beauty of the foundation, as it were. So a gel moisturizer can work beautifully. Like there's one from Biossance that's a gel squalane. Ilia has a nice moisturizer that works beautifully with their foundation. So anything that's a more light, kind of whipped, fluffier. Anything that's too heavy is, even that Alpine would be nice because it's real light, bouncy. But anything that's more of a balm or heavier cream, it'll break down the bonds that foundation is trying to lay to look seamless.
Let's talk quickly about blush. How you like to use it, any interesting ways you're using it, like on the red carpet, because I feel like it's an effortless staple.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every makeup artist. I don't know anyone who doesn't love blush. I mean, RMS has made the best blush. Like, I think that is why my Instagram account went from like 30,000 followers to like 100 after I posted a picture of Sadie Sink wearing a
really?
soon to be launched RMS blush like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And
wow.
because I had all the formulas before they had launched them, and they
Yeah.
were testing them with me. And oh my God, that blush has continued to be the reason why I get write-ups, the reason why everybody
Wow.
reaches out. I grabbed one from my kit. Yes, this is love.
It's just reminding me of how I gotta get back on this press list. I haven't tried any of these things from RMS. Oh my God. So it's looks like cream to powder, maybe?
It is powder.
It's powder, okay.
But it is as she will say, it's this revolutionary formulation that I can't do it justice now, even though I've heard her talk about it a million times. What's nice about it is that there's no filler, so it's all pigment and these finely micronized, like light reflecting particles. It's like no other. Honestly, did I bring a brush?
She's still crushing it with the formulations. You know what I'm saying? Like she was the OG.
I know.
And so many of the things there's a lot of quote unquote clean brands out there by other makeup artists, but I still think pigment wise and pretty makeup wise, she still wins.
For sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one like a makeup artist to make. So let's see, I'll just put it on so you can see.
Let's see. Demoing.
I have
So pretty.
No mirror, but can you see it from there?
Yeah.
So you can really build this up, and it can also be really sheer. So I also love, she, of course, as a makeup artist, created a brush that was a really good shape for cheeks, whether your cheeks are like cheekbones and chunky cheeks are non-existent or very prominent. This fits the cheek beautifully and deposits really nicely. So many brushes do us a disservice.
Yeah.
The shape of the brush really matters, how it drapes across the cheek. It's funny how
This one's like big and fluffy, everyone.
it is, and it separates in the middle in the right way, like when it hits the cheek. It's weird how specific brush
I love
technology
the detail.
is. Yeah, it is highly effective at
So pretty.
not doing like a dump of color, and instead just allowing it to
There's
fan.
a risk out there of that happening.
Oh, yeah.
With pigmented products.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like, and it depends on my client's skin. If I'm going to do, this may be controversial, if I'm going to do powder blush first or cream blush first, but sometimes I do one and sometimes I do the other.
Okay.
And it really depends. If I have somebody who has a really textured skin, I'm going to put the powder down first, allow that to sit on the skin, and then sometimes to add like a little bit more natural skin texture. From a cream product, I'll go in with a brush or my fingers and just pat on a cream blush on top.
Okay.
Usually just on like whatever the highest point of the cheek is,
And work it in.
Yeah, and work it in.
I want to ask you about defining features. We talked right at the beginning about how important brows are.
Yeah.
And I think
you have great
often,
brows.
oh, thank you. A lot of people, it is something that you lose definition, I feel like, with the shape as you get a little older.
Oh, yeah.
And same thing with the lip line. So maybe we can touch on both of those.
Definitely.
Because depending on how you do them, you can look like yourself from 10 years ago.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's one of the most youth infusing things that you can do is to fill back in your brow, give your brow, so as we get older and these muscles all pull our faces down, that three band of muscles that pulls the face down into the neck brings the brows down. So if we can both relax these muscles so that we bring them back up, and relax all of these so that we release the tension, then our brows spring up. If we don't work on that and we just want to pencil to quickly draw in the youthful look, I love the Kosas pencils.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my go-to basically every single look you see on my red carpet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Kosas. Their color range is awesome. They have a taupe, a light honey blonde, and a gray, and ash. All of these that are, they have a dark brown, a medium brown, a chocolate brown. So you're gonna find one that is your perfect match. And I never go dark.
Yeah.
I always stay on the lighter end of whatever colors. We don't have just one color brow. Usually people have a multitude. So I'll go with the lighter, and I start in the bottom of the before the arch. Yeah. And I see how much towards the top of that arch we're going to need to build in so that you get that lift.
Right.
Most people are asymmetrical in their brows, and one is a little bit lower. And so you have to figure out whether or not where you're putting the color is going to, of the one that's lower, is going to be too high that it's outside of the brow, that it's going to, for the onlooker, going to be like weird.
Yeah.
You know, like if you had a little Facetune in Photoshop, that would look great, but we don't. We have our eyes in real life, and therefore it's going to look kooky. So you might just want to fill that one in just to the top of where the brow is. I mean, it's a similar thing with lip liner, right? We all look great when we Facetune, or it's a, you know, fuzzy lens.
Yeah.
But in real life, it can look really bizarre.
Yeah.
So if you were looking for that natural look, you're going to fill in your brows to their full extent, mostly starting at the arch and going to the tail.
Okay.
And then using, for me, because it's the Kosas, I turn it up. I turn it so that they're more vertical.
Okay.
They also have this nano one. Also, a brand called Kimiko makes the.
Oh.
Fun. Have you seen those?
No.
Ooh.
It sounds Japanese though.
She is.
Okay.
And she's a makeup artist.
Okay.
Incredible. In LA or New York. Yeah, and so. She and Kosas have these super fine pencils. So Kosas has two formulations, or not formulations, maybe two types of format that it comes in. And so depending upon what you're using, I like to go, you know, if it's their non-nano, I will turn the what is wrong with my brain? I'll turn the pencil so that it's facing vertically.
Yeah.
So that I get the up stroke.
Right.
So that I can kind of, it's not necessarily emulating each hair, because although that's super cool and can look really neat in HD on social media, in person, it often can be a weird look.
Yeah.
And if you sweat or you accidentally rub, you have a brow in the wrong place. So I like to use products and placement that's a little more forgiving.
Okay.
And it's always about putting that on and then brushing
through. Yeah, we're not in the 2016
Yeah.
brow era, everyone.
Totally.
And what about, and you're talking, you made such a good point before about how our faces kind of like, the muscles do just bring everything down. So how are you lining the lips, making the lips look really fresh and effortless? Not that clown mouth situation going on.
Oh my gosh, the clown mouth. Well, I have to start by telling you, I did a workshop the other day with this woman named Sandra Lanchine. Do you know her? Treatment by Lanchine?
I think so. I follow her on Instagram, but I've never met her.
Oh, she's a wealth of information. She's a Chinese medicine practitioner, and her specialty is like euthanizing. You can't say that. That's not the right word. Making the face look more youthful,
right?
Through use of gua sha, and the focus was on the lip, and so we learned about like strictures in the fascia and the muscle tightness around the mouth. And as we age, we begin to have this. Yeah. So it was that paired with my lip enhancing techniques, and by the end everyone was like, look at my lips. Every face in the little square on the Zoom, everyone was like, my lips look so much bigger. So it was really working the muscles around the mouth.
Interesting.
To help to release them, which is a whole thing I won't go into here, but you can see it on her Instagram and her YouTube channel. But then with the lip liner, so for me, a natural lip enhancement would mean using your lip liner. And if you have a lot of fuzz around your mouth, you might want to take one of those little dermaplaners. Yeah, because otherwise you'll see it. It'll enhance that texture.
Yeah, it takes away from the definition, which 100%. Is what you're trying to achieve, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you'll want to edge your lip. I always start either side, whatever's more comfortable for you, the Cupid's bow. My mouth is the most asymmetrical. I mean, it always has been, but with age. So I have trouble every morning. I'm like, did I stand? Was the shadow in the right place? So I have no idea how it's looking right now. But
it looks great.
Thanks. But the Cupid's bow is where I always start on every face. And you can overline the Cupid's bow. You can overline the top of the rounded parts
of the lip,
of the lip. But you want to be coming back into the edge, the natural edge when you get to the corners. Yeah. When you overline all the way down, it can end up making your lip look just not natural. Yeah. So, you know, a slight edging over top on the sides is cool, but bringing it back down at the end is a really nice way to keep it looking natural.
And any favorite lip liners for that look?
Yeah, I mean, so Swede has killed it with their lip liners. The colors are exquisite. I'm wearing their lightest one today, and I've had it on, what time is it? I've had it on for 7 hours.
Wow.
How does it look?
It looks great.
I put a little bit of lip balm on in the car, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, it is good.
Holding up.
It's a really good adherence. They have a shade that looks like what you have on. Yeah. Their range is beautiful. Who else has some good lip liners? Monica Blunder does too. Armes. Of course, those are the only ones that are coming to mind now, but I'm sure there's a brand called Aire Perez.
Oh, yeah.
Also a Canadian brand, 1999.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They have some beautiful lip liners. They have a little bit more emollients, so I hesitate to say to redraw your whole lip shape and expect it to be crisp for hours and hours and hours. Their pencils are beautiful and the colors are dreamy, but I tend to prefer to smush that in.
Okay.
And really work into the edge. I had a client the other night for an award show, and she was telling me how she loves the look of a perfect edge, but she just knows herself that she's going to be mumming too much.
Right.
And historically, she just pushes the product outside of her lips. So we took a lip liner to her natural lip line, and then she took her finger and just blended it, and it was perfect.
I love that. It's important to know yourself and your own habits, right?
Amen. Yeah, I can't.
She knew she was going to a dinner or whatever, having some champagne.
Yeah.
And that's what she was going to be doing.
Absolutely.
Then you got to work with that.
If you're an eye rubber, maybe you're not going to have a perfect liquid lip, line.
Yeah. What's your favorite mascara, clean mascara that actually stays put?
Oh, Swede.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was forever an Iliad devotee. I love their brush. I love it. But for me, the most important thing is a curl. And so in order to maintain that curl, you need a really dry formula, but it can't be too dry because you can't have, crumbly lashes. So Swede's formula is exquisite. I also really like, if you want a more like a thick, fluffy, lots and lots of black lash, Ritual Defeat. Their formula is beautiful, and they have that big teddy bear brush that's fun.
Okay, I gotta try that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all your tips. I mean,
Pleasure.
We're out here trying to use TikTok filters, talking about contrast makeup, and I don't know what the is going on, frankly. So you're just this wealth of information, real life. You're doing it on real people as well as celebrities who are the most, demanding of performance and all of this. So I really appreciate all of these leveling up tricks that you've shared with our audience. I know our audience will really appreciate it as well. And we'll have to have you back. Thank you, Katey.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.